Well, despite the gloomy scene today, our Savannah cam on River Street is showing you it is at least fairly pleasant and mild, along with calm out there too. Your latest observation at Savannah Hilton Head International Airport showing you 80 degrees. Yes, a touch of humidity is making it feel like 84 degrees, but a breeze out of the northeast rather, will make things feel a lot better, which I say so myself. We do appreciate a break from the heat, but Viper Radar is the place where activity is continuing to move in. Now, most of this is along the Altamaha. That's eventually going to push northeast, where Glenville, you're up next. Pembroke may get on this here about the next hour or two, but a majority of the heavy rainfall has been along and south of the Altamaha. Appling, Wayne, and Bacon County till 7:15. You have a flood advisory. Bottom line, if you know an area that floods in any heavy rain, you might want to avoid driving on it. That's about all this would mean. You head over into portions of McIntosh County, north of Darien, for aerial flood advisory till 7 p.m. Again, this is just heavy, stubborn rain that has been moving around the area. And by the way, for what it's worth, generally speaking, if you're south of I-16, you're going to get some heavy rain at some point. But across Chatham County, all the way from the islands into town, all the way out to Pooler and Bloomingdale, things are looking pretty good in Chatham County. But Bryan County, this activity is going to start filling in over the next hour or so, and continuing to find this, generally speaking, the western portion of our area is going to see a good bit of heavy rainfall over the next few hours. And rainfall totals have been pretty impressive for some spots, 3 to 4 inches in portions of McIntosh County and across Appling, Wayne, and Bacon County, 2 to 3 inches on very wet ground. That could lead to flash flooding, and that could be an issue for portions of our area later on too. So stay weather aware and do keep an eye on that, as rain and storms are in the forecast the next several hours. Coverage backs off overnight, 40% coverage, about scattered thunderstorms, and then the coastal storms develop much like this morning. You'll have that land breeze start to initiate activity. So first part of the morning in the low country may be a rough go at it with just some heavy rainfall, of course. Multiple disturbances along a stationary boundary are helping predict these rain chances. While we don't have the 95-degree heat to launch thunderstorms, we do have plenty in the way of moisture and lift from this frontal boundary. So this pattern sticks around until the front begins to weaken during the middle of the week. And there are actually 2 areas to watch in the tropics to our east as well, due to areas of low pressure trying to develop in the region. Invest 95L is continuing to move east. Computer models are in very good agreement. This will continue to move east at a rapid rate. No real threat to the U.S. coast at all. Now, later in the week, there will be a watch of an area of low pressure developing to our east. Not a lot of details, of course, because we are so far out and no low pressure center is developed, but a long way off from any type of direct impacts. Now, looking out into the eastern Atlantic, we have an area to watch with 40% chance of development. This is a tropical wave moving off of Africa, but it is lacking deep thunderstorm activity due to Saharan dust and dry air. But later on in the week, a lot of time to watch this, of course. Slow development is possible, of course, too, but this will take a long time for anything to become clear. So no need to worry about any of this. Again, there's that morning round of storms possible for the low country. That eventually starts to break down, but then those afternoon storms come in, and 60% chances of storms are in play again, with heavy rainfall being the primary concern. Again, turn around, don't drown if you do encounter any of those flooded roadways, of course. Tuesday brings more standard storms. Of course, you get some sunshine as well. Eventually, showers and thunderstorms develop, 40% chances there in play. 71 tonight, storms do eventually get out of play, but you do have a lot of cloud coverage, but a fairly mild one in terms of temperatures. Quick look at your back to school forecast tomorrow, starting off the day with some 60s inland, but eventually temperatures warm into the mid 80s with rain and storms in the region. Very quick look on the water. Conditions are going to be a bit rough. 10 to 15 knot winds out of the northeast do develop during the day Monday. Look at your 7-day, and that does show, again, we're going to enjoy the cooler temperatures to start of this week, gradually back to more seasonal conditions, but hey, at least heat into season, the 1 teens are not in our near future.
Like we said yesterday, kind of some sweatshirt weather. I'm not going to lie, boys. I wore a sweatshirt today into the office. It's a little Cinderella graphic tee sweatshirt, rather. There you go. It's very warm.
Slay.
Yeah. All right, Coy.
Jeff, I know that you're a big NASCAR fan. I'm more of a baseball fan myself. But what if I told you they combined the two? The Atlanta Braves made a history today playing in the MLB Speedway Classic. See if they could also come out with a win. Action Sports.